All right, let's take a look at some warm-up questions. So we have Hillary Who, and she borrowed $2,500 to pay for a viola. She agrees to pay back $3,400 in 219 days. What is the exact interest she is paying? All right, so here's our amount she's borrowed, $2,500. She, in the end, ends up paying $3,400 total. That's the original $2,500 plus the interest. She had it there for 219 days. We want to know what rate it was. Also notice that this is exact interest because that does make a difference. The first thing we need to know is how much interest she ended up paying. So we take the 2,500 and subtract it from the $3,400. And when we do that, we find out she paid $900 in interest. And the reason we needed that is because our formula we used here is that interest is the principal times the rate times the amount of time. Now the amount of time, since we're doing exact interest, that's going to be the number of days divided by 365. Ordinary interest we would divide by 360, but exact interest you divide by 365. Let's put in the numbers we know. We know the interest was $900. We know the principal, or the starting amount, was $2,500. We don't know the rate. I'm just going to leave that there. We do know that it was in for 219 days divided by 365. So let's simplify what we can. The 900 is going to stay here for now. What I'm going to do here, and this is okay to do, is move the rate to the end. So that I can calculate what's left. Okay, so I'm going to simplify by calculating these amounts here. So I'm taking 2,500 times 219 divided by 365. When I do that, I get 1,500. So I have 1,500 times the rate is equal to 900, and I need to solve for the rate. It's multiplied by 1,500. So I do the opposite and divide by 1,500. Okay, when I do that, I get 0.6 for my answer. She had a pretty high interest rate. We need to change that decimal to a percent. We move the decimal 2 places to the right, and she was paying 60% interest. All right, next warm-up question. In how many days does it take an $8,000 loan to earn $600 ordinary interest at 14% interest rate? So again, we're going to use our interest formula, that the interest earned is equal to the principal, that's the amount you are investing, times your rate, times, and notice this one is different than our last question because it is ordinary interest instead of exact. And what changes there is you take the number of days divided by 360 instead of 365. 365 is for exact, 360 is for ordinary. Let's put in the information we know. They told us that they wanted $600 to be earned in interest, so it's going to go right there. They told us we have $8,000 in principal. They told us our rate was 14%. Don't forget to move your decimal 2 places to the left to change it to a decimal, 0.14. And then we have times the number of days divided by 360. All right, so what do we have here? Let's go ahead and simplify this. 8,000 times 0.14 is 1,120. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I want to move that 1,120 to the other side. It's multiplied by the days divided by 360, so if I divide by 1,120, that will move it to the other side. And I'll have over here days divided by 360 equals 600 divided by 1,120. and I get about 0.5357. It goes on from there. Leave that number in your calculator and finish out here. The days are divided by 360, so to solve we're going to do the opposite and multiply by 360. So again, just leave that first number in your calculator and go times 360. And when I do that, I get 192.85. If they wanted rounded to the nearest day, that would be 193 days.